Hello and welcome to the Pintcast. This week we're here with my good friend of the show, Kyle Huff Nasty. You can follow him on Twitter at AnfieldCat420. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
One and only. It's good to be back.
Oh yeah. So we're here, and you know what that means? It means that it's time for Arsenal to play Liverpool.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
No, indeed. We just had a fun day at the pub.
I had an awesome day at the pub.
Yeah, it was great for you. You loved it. You loved watching all of our fans lose their shit as we lost to Bournemouth.
Yeah, but it was a celebration for the one and only, the birthday boy over here.
Yeah, I'm old. It's official. It was a lot of fun.
It was, and I think it was a good turnout. Especially, I think we were all a little disappointed watching United kind of squeak by there at the end. But
hey, Ten Hag in.
Ten Hag in is correct.
Ten Hag in.
We all gotta pull the card a little bit at some point.
You know, like a few things that weren't gonna last. You know, Chelsea have started to figure their shit out under Enzo Maresca, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not too happy about that. I want to beat them. You guys did just beat them last week, so that was a nice notch to get on your belt. Get that out of the way. Yeah. Before they figure shit out later this season.
I mean, Maresca has been a pretty hot manager so far this season. I think, like, whenever you've looked at the rotating, door that's been the managerial office at Chelsea FC, he's probably been the most steady rival that they've had in who knows how long.
Indeed, he it seems like he's running a pretty good ship. I mean, with the clown show that they have going on over there, with however many millions of players they have. Oh yeah, Mudryk has time to come watch Arsenal play Shakhtar. I don't know, like however many players they have in their first team squad is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's gonna turn into like a blind squirrel finds a nut from time to time. Look, Lavia and Caicedo are finally clicking in that midfield. My boy Nicholas Jackson has been fuego.
Yeah,
I think so far for my fantasy team.
I know. I actually
nothing else.
I didn't add him. I was going to, and I figured out a new way because Saka was out, and so I had to get him out of my.
You can just copy my team if you want.
Yeah,
already.
just copy.
I saw you copying a few of them moves.
Oh yeah, copying that. Yeah, I brought in of all people, Cole Palmer.
Another one of my boys that's been
I brought
catapulting me up to the top of the table nearly.
I was like, I couldn't, for whatever reason, I couldn't log in on my phone the other day before the fucking match, so I didn't get Saka out for this past week, but I got it now. So we've had some shakeups in the old lineup. I mean, fantasy, at least this fantasy football, I'm not 0-7. American fantasy football, not going so well for me.
Yeah, it's to be expected though. It's still early days, but the Arsenal collapse doesn't happen until you get your Christmas gifts, right?
So you hope. There are some things that do give us hope. We have 115 reasons to think that maybe something will happen to Man City.
It's a big maybe, and I think you had Mourinho even come out recently as, I think earlier this week saying, he's over there sweating his butt off in Turkey still saying I might still have a bonus check coming my way and a medal. So I think everyone's holding out hope. I am probably the least hopeful of every Liverpool fan I talk to across the board, and I think it's they've already kind of set a precedent, right, with one of their advertising conundrums, I guess we'll call it. But I think there's something's got to change. Something's got to happen.
Well, they say wish in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. So I'm not.
It's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
If you're watching week by week of City to, trip up a little bit, I think you kind of know how this story goes.
I might have put a little 50 on Man City getting relegated this season at plus 1,200. The odds slashed, so that was an interesting development. There were
do you get back pay? This. Do you get retroactive back pay?
No, but that if City get relegated, because if they get docked 80 points, they're going to get fucking relegated. Even if they get 100 points, they're only going to get 20. That's it.
But do their charges come up to the season?
Well, I don't think it's
because there is a window that they're looking at, right?
But remember that, like, even at the end of the season last year, they docked Everton more points, even after they'd done it earlier in the season. So for whatever reason, people on the inside are a little scared because they went from being, plus 6,000 or whatever to get relegated when all Liverpool, Arsenal plus 5,000.
Well, the real bet is that they just said that Anthony Taylor is going to be officiating that. So no matter what, a lot of the money's on City's boys gonna make a draw out of it. So they say. But
Who knows?
it's anything can happen. It's a crazy old world out there, isn't it?
But the one thing we have that's consistent for all of his reign, is that Erik ten Hag is fucking useless, and Man United are absolute garbage. It's been my favorite recurring theme from last year. It's honestly made it worth it that, like, the shit that I got talked to by Mark after United won the cup, and they're like, well, look, we won a little cup because look at this, and you guys, in your best season, you won nothing. Mm-hmm. It's like, but Ten Hag is still there. If he lost that match, he was out.
Well, I think we were the ones that fell on our own sword and let them score like 2 goals.
Yeah, you definitely did.
That was the real sacrifice there. So you're welcome. All right. Help me.
Well, listen. Our teamwork has made it so that Erik ten Hag has been able to still keep a job as the manager of Manchester United, and is doing absolutely horribly. Even after last year, he's setting new records for worst ever start to a season by Manchester United. They're in 13th place.
Well, and for the amount of hell that Moyes always got, and the memes of just David Moyes as a football genius, of him with a 1,000-yard stare sitting at his desk first day in the job.
I'm sorry, United are up to 12th with 11 points.
Hey now. But who would have thought? And I think, like, whenever you're looking at United really struggling and all the pundits doing everything they can possibly do to prop them up,
minus 2 goal difference also.
Well, that's going to keep on sinking. But he's even eclipsing his terrible start to last season.
That's what I'm saying.
The point haul. So, I think it's really grasping at straws here, but I'm loving every minute of it. Long may it continue. And, I think me and you were even saying, Saturday morning, I think we were looking at each other at the end of that game and just saying, is that Lindelof that's coming off the bench late in the game to change it? I know Maguire's kind of saved them some blushes earlier on the season as well, rescued some points, but Victor Lindelof? My God.
Go figure.
Go
figure. But yeah, the table's shaping up a bit. It's interesting to see who's up there. I think there's definitely, like, Villa being in 4th, Brighton in 5th. You wonder whether they'll be able to sustain it. I mean, we'll see with the Champions League. Like, Villa actually got a win in Champions League this week.
Villa are top of the table in the Champions League.
Right. I saw that. I saw this whole thing.
New format in 4th. So I think that's very impressive. But, they've got a manager that I think knows what to do with this squad.
You're right.
Gerrard was in the relegation zone with nearly the same squad. So,
well, yeah, that shows you how good Gerrard is a manager.
Well, yeah, because I think he's definitely, like, whenever you saw these managers come out, Lampard, Gerrard, and especially in my opinion, it was always going to be Arteta as well. There's only kind of been one that survived, and look at England's golden boy Wayne Rooney and how he's doing. He's doing karaoke and BFE in the middle of the country, and
where is he at? He's at Derby still?
I think
he's at some Tranmere Rovers somewhere.
Dude, who cares?
Somewhere in the League One.
Wherever the most, like, grandmas per capita are in the country, you'll find the boy.
The good old Granny Shagger. But at some point, like, we'll see. I mean, like you said, Emery knows how to manage a squad for Europe. I mean, it's specifically Europa League. I mean, we'll just see at some point. I think with their squad not having the same amount of depth, you're going to get a bit of burnout in the league. So whether or not they can maintain that 4th place, we'll see. I think that comes down to a lot to how Chelsea's form, maybe Tottenham's form. I mean, if they don't have too much else going on, like Chelsea, they have plenty of players to rotate. So I don't think the squad burnout's going to be as big of an issue for them.
Yeah,
I mean, just as far as that, I mean, Brighton are up there, but I don't expect them to sustain a Champions League charge. But who knows? It wouldn't surprise me if they finish ahead of Tottenham, but that could be 6th or 7th.
Yeah, and I think the start of the season, it's been so start and stop. It's hard to sustain any momentum. I think, like,
I know we just
Liverpool
got back
obviously started in some good form. I think Arsenal were in some good form and then had, like, some interruptions in the break. And over this previous international break, I was just holding my breath, and especially today, and going to Leipzig, I'm telling a lot of people, I'm like, you know what? I don't care if we draw this, as long as we get out healthy, it's a win.
Right.
Because this has just been so detrimental to a lot of our previous campaigns that. We'll see. Chelsea are going to be fortunate in that department. However, you don't want to be changing people out in the engine room too often, especially whenever it comes to a busy time of year. Like,
no, not ideally. And like we saw, I mean, everyone that had played at the weekend that had started against Bournemouth and then also was playing on Tuesday looked a bit tired, and it really does suck that the Premier League doesn't do anything to really help you out with these situations. Because look, Dortmund played on Friday last week. The Bundesliga does that. If you have a Tuesday Champions League game, you get to play on Friday.
Yeah.
just so you get one extra day to try to help your team do well in the competition, which the Premier League won't fucking do. They'll keep you on Sunday.
But is that really down to the Premier League, or is that the FA and the league in unison trying to help out their coefficient a little bit more?
Well, whatever it is, it has to do with the league and how it's run, and they could do more because like I said, Spain does the same shit. They'll do it for Barcelona as well.
Comes down to the almighty dollar, doesn't it?
Well, we all know they're sucking that dollar,
sucking that dollar, bud.
Man.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, we can get some good run of games going here. And I think last weekend a lot of people were saying with Liverpool Football Club and Arne Slot in particular is the first real big test. Funny enough, they didn't say that at Old Trafford even as much as they tried to. But I think it was handled very, very well, especially against Marasco. We were nearly playing identical systems there. So, I think with really the best number 2 in the league, some could say, arguably, in Arsenal, and going to, in the middle of your den, your snake den, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens. I really hope Raheem Sterling gets some time. It kind of looks like he might.
Unfortunately, he might. But, it looks like, hopefully Saka will be fit for that. I think they kept him out more as a precaution.
Was that the biggest hit that you had to the squad during the international break?
Saka? Yeah, it's a pretty big hit.
But was that the only injury that you guys sustained?
Well, the only major one. You had another guy, but like peripheral, like Tomiyasu again.
Yeah.
But they from the starting 11, like we're still waiting on Timber to come back. Ben White came back and played, but
not match fit.
You don't want to play him too much. Like he'll probably play at the weekend. But now the bigger deal was that we lost. Yeah, we lost Saka, but we also, in particular, lost Saliba with the red card, so he's not going to be there. So we're missing our best central defender and our best player. And the bigger thing was the last international break where Odegaard got hurt.
Yeah,
and so he's been out, and we've been really suffering with him.
You guys have not I don't watch much Arsenal. I maybe either on the weekend or midweek or whatever else. I'll catch one of them, but you guys have not looked the same with Odegaard, and I think that Declan Rice has not looked the same. Something got broken over the summer, and I think that Declan had to shoulder a lot of that burden for, Southgate's charge in the summertime, and he looks leggy out there. He looked really leggy out there, and I think especially without Odegaard, the creativity and with Saka out now.
Well, he does such a good job. Odegaard is the guy who leads the high press, and he runs so much. It's surprising because you wouldn't think of it back in the day. The reputation. Ozil used to cover like 11 kilometers a fucking match.
Yeah.
It was crazy how much he would run, and that Odegaard does the same thing. He ends up covering the most ground. Him and Declan Rice are both up there with the highest. Mm-hmm. But it's leading the press. It's moving around and cutting off the angles, and he's the coach out there on the field. So everything's more organized when he's there because he's running everything, telling everyone where they're at, where to be. Even he doesn't seem like a big yelly captain in that kind of sense. He is guiding stuff and directing shit on the field when he's out there. So,
yeah.
So he's been a huge miss. And so, honestly, if I were Liverpool coming into this match, seeing that we're missing 3 of our 5 best players, I think it's fair to say, right?
I always draw
Saka or all 3 of our best players, Saka, Saliba, and fucking Odegaard. Those are probably our 3 best players.
Those are
3 players in the Premier League team.
2 seasons ago, where Martinelli was just this like enigmatic figure, like across the league, really.
Yeah.
And how much he's kind of fallen down the pecking order.
Yeah,
whenever he's had his chances, he hasn't been as lethal yet.
He's not down the pecking order.
I don't know what it is. If there was like,
you didn't watch him on Tuesday. He was our best player on Tuesday, so it looks like he might be ready.
Whenever you're playing 4 center backs and 3 central defensive midfielders, I think that you only have so many people that are really going to shine right there. So it's kind of like I think that's a tough one. You're talking about 8 players out there, so it's like really 3 players that are really going to maybe make an impact on the game. So that doesn't surprise me, but he's got to have a big game on
and he has had big games against Liverpool before, so hopefully he can pull something out because your boy Jurgen was a big admirer of him.
Yeah,
this is the first time
heavy metal football suited that open play and really allowed a lot of people in which I think people like Martinelli could capitalize. Very
Yeah,
technical figure, very pacey, and that was
his lightning
tit for
pace.
tat, which is really interesting. I've been saying since the beginning of the season, the first 3 or 4 games under Arne Slot, everyone was no one knew what was going on. I always said it was an awkward blind date, is what I said in a lot of different chats. And it felt right. It was slow, it was reserved, it was hit a little bit, but it was so misdirected from like what we're used to watching under Jurgen Klopp. And especially look at what happened after Dortmund. You know, a lot of comparisons can be made from, and I know you're not going to get this, but Shankly was a very, Klopp-esque figure, very bombastic, whatever else. And then Paisley came in and really kind of subdued everything. And that's really this Arne Slot role that he's playing. It kind of went from heavy metal football to what I've been saying is like yacht rock football. And it's easy listening, and I think it's getting the job done. I mean, just to pull a number up right now, of the 12 matches that's been played, it's the first time it's ever happened where someone's won the first 11 of 12 matches in all across Europe as the first manager. Major, according to Opta Joe.
For a new manager.
For a new manager
in
come in to win his first 11 out of 12 matches.
While standing on their left foot and dancing.
On top of that, we've only conceded 3 goals this season. Yeah. And need I remind you, like really the worst game that we've had, and it
until Sunday,
is the juggernaut classic rivalry of Nottingham Forest, you know, and that was just kind of one of those, everyone was tired coming out of international break. I feel like that's kind of where Arsenal were maybe on the midweek game against, you guys played Shakhtar, no?
Yeah.
Took an own goal to get through, but 3 points. So, you know, those are all banana skin games, but Arne Slot's been a real breath of fresh air, and I think it's going to negate a lot of homework that we have for people like Martinelli that are going to be able to come out and really hit us back whenever we're going toe-to-toe, this whole slugfest. It's much more reserved. It's a completely different animal.
Well, so what has changed for you guys defensively? Like, tell me, like, what tactically? Because, like, you know, I've seen that you've got really good play from Gravenberch, right? Like...
And this is the thing is we're talking about Chelsea can buy all these players. Anyone can buy all these players and slot them in. Maybe that's what's changed, or maybe there's been some gelling. Gravenberch hasn't been able to play or couldn't break into Bayern Munich squad. We pick him up. He can't break into a Klopp squad. He comes in. He looks very Fabinho-esque. He looks very Rodri-esque coming in. His turning ability is fantastic. His tackling ability is phenomenal. But it's a bit of a different system where you'll look at a pivot between 4 at the back with your fullbacks actually being reserved, and you kind of have a box 4-man midfield. But what Arne Slot likes to do is really crowd at the top of the box and just create shooting opportunities. I guess it's more of a Dutch theory of how to attack, which is a little bit different than what we've seen in England. Ten Hag hasn't been able to implement it. But the player that we've been most surprised at, that started his career kind of on fire and then kind of cooled out, is Dominic Szoboszlai. And I think he is going to be, on Sunday, he's going to be that player that Odegaard is, of shutting people down, getting him between the lines and stuff like that. So
he's going to be your danger man?
I think he's going to be our danger man. What we saw today, though, is a little bizarre, and something that we haven't seen recently is Trent moving over into that 6 role as well and really progressing the ball with ease against an unbeaten Leipzig team that have a very, very good midfield. So, being able to pull off your star players as a new manager has really kind of reinvigorated, I think, a lot of the star players. We obviously have Mo Salah, we have Trent, and we've got Mo out of contract at the end of the year. So
Mo's got his new hair. He's got everything.
Mo is also closing in on Ray's point record in the Premier League too. So I think to let him go would be crazy. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Arteta adjusts to this new system. Again, yacht rock, easy listening. I think it's going to be a different challenge, and it'll probably suit us better rather than going for the throat away from home, as we might have seen under Jurgen Klopp, to maybe kind of playing a little bit of rope-a-dope game against an injured Arsenal team.
A mid-block?
Maybe a bit of a mid-block. I think it's Konate's looked really good. Our backline's very assured right now, and the big question that everyone's asking is, how do we fare without Alisson Becker? And I think Kevin Kelleher is a number one, and probably, I would say, maybe 18 teams out of the league.
That's a bold statement. I mean, definitely.
You heard it here first.
Definitely more than half, but I don't know about that. Not in either of our teams. But
numbers really don't lie, though. I think the 3 goals is something impressive, but I think you feel confident with Van Dijk and Konate. Really holding down that back line, staying healthy. But we'll see. I don't know how are Arsenal going to come out against the league leaders. You guys are sitting third right now, yeah?
We're in third. I think I think they're gonna come out and play positive football. The lineup, I would. There's a case to be made to start one of the young kids, to start Ethan Nwaneri.
In position of who?
To play as a 10. He's our only guy that's the understudy to Odegaard that we have. We had Fabio Vieira, but we sent him out on loan, which clearly just showed you where he was in the pecking order, that we wanted to play the 17-year-old over him.
You don't think Jesus gets a start?
Jesus, maybe. I mean, it's a really tough situation. He got 60-something minutes in the Champions League yesterday. He looked pretty good. He should have, he came close to scoring a couple goals, but he hasn't scored a goal in the league since like January or February or something. It's been a long time. And, he's kind of been good at his goal scoring record in the Champions League is significantly better. So it seemed like a perfect day for him to get a goal. He got into good positions. He looked really useful. But you're absolutely going to have Martinelli starting on the left, especially after the way he was on fire. Like it gets shown very, like, European football suits him, and they try to play him one-on-one on the right back, and they get torched every time they try to play him like that. And until they decide to double up and throw two defenders at him, they get smoked. And that's happened consistently in the Champions League over and over and over again. And so it's not going to be the same. Like they've had good matchups, him and Trent, before. He's going to get the start. The right side, the question is it Jesus, or is it going to be Jesus, or is it going to be Sterling?
Sterling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you do.
It's Sterling.
I'm sure you do.
He's so washed. He's so washed.
He doesn't look extremely fit. He looks semi-useful, but it's the same shit, the same kind of prancing around little happy feet shit that he does. We're not seeing enough of the end product, but I would love the storyline of him scoring against Liverpool.
I think, yeah.
And I know the one thing that would get your goose would be him scoring the goal against you. That'd turn your face redder than it is right now after those beers.
Unbelievable. Look, he's still got it. I think that would be the written in the stars, plot line there.
Would he celebrate?
Oh, I think so. I mean, before he left, he was at a kit launch, and he was just getting absolute hell from all the Scousers that were there to see it, like the city center.
Yeah.
And it was the most uncomfortable situation I've ever seen like a young 20-something-year-old kid ever be in, to be like, yeah, I can't wait to wear it, and like it's gonna be awesome. It feels great, and everyone's just like, you're fucking snake, get out of here, And it'll be interesting. I think the real matchup that I'm more interested in is that Martinelli Trent matchup. Traditionally, Trent has just been kind of a weakened right back, right? Everyone said his numbers against Chelsea were phenomenal, and he's actually looked like all the bit of a future Real Madrid right back in the future so far this season, with the exception of I believe it was Nottingham Forest when he got pulled off, and then the Rags started talking about, there was some talk afterwards, whatever else. Neto could barely get past him. He was pushing him out every time. He won every tackle he went into. All his ground duels were won. He's really worked on his defensive side, and I think it's a matter of securing that kind of shield in between the back four, and especially with Konaté kind of coming into his own now. He's had trouble breaking into the French national team. Always been in the squad. I don't know if you saw last international break, but he came in with with the veil on. I don't know, whatever.
No, I don't know.
He came in with some reference to anime. I'll have to show you later, and you can fill me in. That's not my department.
Konaté's a weeb. That's right.
But it's the coverage on him very fast. Like, it's been fantastic, and he's been doing a lot of rotation with Joe Gomez, who's starting to get match fit as well. So I think Trent, I think that's really going to be the tell of the tale there on Sunday is just how that matchup works, because if you start exploiting that, it's going to pin it back. Obviously, I think Alexis McAllister is going to be causing all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. It's interesting. Like in the engine room, it's more than likely it's going to be that midfield made of 1-6, 1-6/8, and 1-8, right? So Marino's an 8. That's what he plays, almost predominantly exclusively. That's what he is. He's an 8. And then you have Declan Rice, who's an 8 or a 6, and you have Partey, who's a 6. So I don't love it. I think physically they should be robust enough to give a good battle. I mean, obviously size wise, talent wise, all that, it's just lacking creativity,
Yeah.
And that's why the argument was that we thought that maybe that Nwaneri would get some minutes or maybe even start him in the Champions League, because when he's come on as a substitute in some of these league matches at the tender age of 17 years old, he looks like a guy who creates chances and does stuff. He scored 2 goals in our last league match, our League Cup match. Looked miles better than them. Obviously, there was like a League One team.
Yeah.
So a little different, but the guy comes on in Champions League, regular Premier League matches. They trust him. They trust him to come out there and play. And I think really, he might be a very important impact sub. And the biggest question though with the lineup, the biggest question across the board for us is whether or not Saka plays. If Saka plays, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of attention and whatnot. Maybe he's only fit from the bench.
Are you more worried if Saka starts or what your back line looks like?
I'm more worried about my back line.
Yeah. So you've got Gabriel healthy.
Gabriel's playing.
You've got is Ben White going to have to be your second center back?
I mean, he played for a whole year with him and it was a good partnership.
But is there anyone else in the squad? Because you have two. We have Saliba is suspended.
Timber
also injured.
And Timber and White could make up the right side. I don't know. Timber is a fitness test, this and that. If they come in, do you keep Ben White on the right or do you put Timber on the right and move Ben White to center back? I mean, we know Ben White's a center back. He played there for years.
Predominantly a right back, though, for you guys, correct?
Well, he played a full season at center back with Gabriel, and they were good. And then it's just that we brought Saliba back, so we pushed him to right back. And we're like, is this going to be permanent? Mm-hmm. And then he's made himself one of the better right backs in the league since he's been there. But so the question is, both he and Timber are both center backs and right backs. I'm not sure what combination they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. If Timber's fit, I think ideally that's the case, that we have that, and then we have Calafiori on the left.
Calafiori just went down injured this week, though, didn't he?
Well, it was a little. No one said
precautionary.
We'll see. Because then we might need Timber to play left back because there's no Tomiyasu. So
I'm saying worst case scenario. Let's say Timber's out.
All right, worst case
out.
Worst case scenario.
Saliba's out. What's your back line look like?
We have Lewis Skelly, the kid, the 18-year-old playing left back,
and his buddy Mulder or what?
Horrible joke.
It's a good one. Come on.
No, you're not getting credit for that.
I've never heard of him. I've never seen that.
Yeah, he's another teenager. He's 18.
Okay.
Yeah,
any caps at all for the senior team?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
He played in the Champions League game. Yeah. He came on for Calafiori when he came out in the Champions League game yesterday.
Okay, so he came on as sub.
He played like he and Nwaneri are the two guys that were kids that were on the tour in the preseason that were playing every game, and they were playing in midfield mostly together. Nwaneri was playing as the 10, one half, while Odegaard played the other half, and then Lewis Skelly was playing as the 8, the left mid.
Scully, that's yeah.
And he also was playing some left back. So
okay,
he's good in both those positions. I'm not worried about him playing. Like, he's got pace. He can keep up. Like, I mean, obviously we don't want a slow left back. Calafiori, I'm more worried about him with the pace when it comes to Salah. But yeah, if Miles Lewis Skelly has to play, then he plays, and he's next to Gabriel and maybe Ben White, and I'm not sure who plays right back. Partey plays right back. I don't fucking know. Partey plays right back, and
Partey plays right back.
All right, you want the worst case scenario,
and you've got Diaz on the left.
Here's the worst case scenario. Here's worst case scenarios, and that's what you want. You want to dream and stroke it too.
I mean, I'm going to stroke it either way.
Right. Partey at right back, Ben White at right center back, Gabriel at left center back, and Lewis Skelly at left back. That would be the most makeshift back four that we could make.
Okay.
Hopefully we have at least one more player fit than that. So maybe it's Timber and him on the right and not have to move, Partey to fullback.
If Partey comes to fullback, who
Jorginho goes into 6.
Jorginho, that's right.
Yeah, Jorginho would play as the guy alongside
another London journeyman.
The London journeyman, but the guy's a great help out there. And I'd say he's the next extension of the coach.
Yeah. I mean, he's experienced. He's going to come in, put in a decent show.
Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him at the club. He's apparently a great guy, and like he's not worried about. He has long-term injuries that just like the fact that he can't play 50 matches a season.
Yeah.
So they're managing it, and you know what? They didn't even play him in the Champions League midweek. Maybe this is the week that we need him. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That hey, Jorginho, we need you to come in. You haven't played in 2 weeks. We need you to give the performance today, and because he doesn't have the legs. He plays it by being good positionally, and his tactics and all that stuff. He's great. So he's come in for us in a spot and played blinders before. Mm-hmm. Partey, he's in a healthy run of form. He's looked better than he's looked better than he did at the end of last season, which was not very good.
Yeah.
And the very beginning of the season was still a little questionable, but the past few weeks, like the past month or so, he's been looking as good as he's looked since we first got him. But the thing is that, like, we can tell, like, he's leggier than before. When it was that first game against who the fuck was that kid from Villa? That guy from Villa? What's his
Rogers?
Name? Rogers from Villa. God, he made this guy's, and like Declan Rice looking out of form. Like, ran past all
fantasy team now too. He's gonna tear it up. But
yeah, Rogers.
Yeah, Roger. I think just like box to box in the middle of the park, that guy's looked absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he's not gonna be there long.
No. Well, I mean, let's see how Villa look. I think it's even still early days to kind of evaluate a lot of what the season's looked like so far, right? I mean, like let's get past Turkey Day over here in the States, and then I think we can kind of get a bigger picture of what everything's looking like. I would say this is probably the biggest test of the league so far to see this showdown, because I don't know, like, I mean, we've played United, but United are trash.
Yeah.
Have you guys played Chelsea yet? Have you played Tottenham yet?
Well, we played Tottenham.
Okay, so
that's right. Tottenham? Yeah, we beat them. Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's like whenever you get someone that's in good form, like against Chelsea, it's like that's gonna be a real big test for you guys. I think whenever you get some momentum, I think we're coming out of a break, right? We got a little bit of traction, but again, this is gonna be a very big test for Arne Slot. I think it's gonna be a big test for Arteta, just in how he can manage the unknown of bringing a new manager with a really squad that's been challenging for a long time with a lot of experience in it, and to juggle the injury list as well. Like, I'm kind of just fascinated to see how this lines up.
Yeah, like I said, we're not. I'd feel a lot better about this match if I had a couple of healthier players. And literally, I mean, these three guys are guys that have been in the past 2 seasons. Have all been in the PFA Team of the Year. So we're missing three of the best players in the fucking league.
Yeah, definitely top 5. I mean, I don't know. I think, what are Saka's numbers looking like this season? Amazing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's got a bunch of goals and assists.
Without him out there, obviously, like the goal threat, and then being able.
Well, we haven't spoken about the giraffe in the room, and that's one Kai Havertz. That has shown himself to be quite a useful player.
I was just about to bring him up, and how is he going to be able to be serviced by your boys with no Saka out there? You're going to be relying on Martinelli and Sterling essentially to have really not, in my opinion, is more of a pacey rather than a physical striker. I think his international career has, shown that. I think his Chelsea career has shown that. And, he's definitely reinvented himself in North London. But I think Van Dijk is so good about putting big physical center forwards in his pocket for 90 minutes and then maybe taking them home with him.
Only time's going to tell. Like, we'll see what he does. Like, since this time last season, Havertz has only had one trajectory, and he's been killing it.
True.
After the first 2 months when it was kind of tough for him, he didn't really get on the score sheet. Then we started playing him through the middle because Gabby Jesus got hurt, and it was like, well, we need a center forward.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now he's scoring center forward goals. He's getting those headers. He's timing those through balls, like all that kind of shit. His service has been great, and he's hitting it with confidence. Which the biggest problem that we saw, and like you're always talking shit when we're watching him for Germany, oh, he doesn't leather it like fully, like
he doesn't, dude. That's a fact.
All right, yeah, you're right. Podolski fucking had a hammer of a shot too, but does that mean he was better than the other fucking players?
It's a long time ago.
But like comparing him and Mueller, it's like, oh well, what do they do? Like there's more similarities in Mueller and Havertz's game of a guy who knows how to play through the middle, but is actually an attacking midfielder and knows how to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the real problem that we've had this season with our center backs and where we've conceded the goals that we have been just a really direct run off the shoulder of the last man back, not timed the run well enough. And I think like Havertz, I'm not sure. I haven't really seen him just be a thoroughbred and open up like you'd see with a Darwin Núñez.
No, he has to time it right. He doesn't have getaway speed like that. The only guy that has the getaway speed is Martinelli.
Yeah.
Or Saka, if he's there, has close to, but not quite.
Yeah, and I think those are really the like Nicholas Jackson, those type of goals where it's just like he's clean, he's through, very Ollie Watkins, like
Sure.
just like a striker's goal. I think that's probably where we're gonna concede on the weekend, and I can see us doing one.
Not set pieces.
No, we never score off of corners. I'll tell you that right now. But
Well,
I don't see that happen. I don't see us conceding off a corner. But
you're gonna concede 2 goals. The question is, are you still gonna win?
And that's the thing, is we haven't had to do one of those Jurgen Klopp's like, okay, we shipped 2 goals. Now it's time to go to work. Like, we're just going to outscore you, heavy metal football style. So yeah, I don't know that it's going to be that game. Again, I think with Anthony Taylor out there, I think we're going to look at a lot of cards really early. I think he's going to try and subdue the game, make it more of a spectacle rather than like a heavyweight knockout fight of the night type of thing.
Such a fucking joke. Like, all these referees are so bad. Like, we could do a whole goddamn podcast on just PGMOL. And
yeah, well, that's the thing. And I'll always wonder.
Hey,
like,
also, ACAB includes PGMOL. Fuck them.
I always see
Pieces
that, like,
of shit.
maybe in that conversation we were having earlier with, the German FA and the Bundesliga are talking to allow their teams to have another day of rest or something like that. PGMOL just seem like they're in these conversations too, and maybe just like in someone's ear. It's like this shadowy figure pulling the strings.
I want to dangle Howard Webb from like what is it, the Austin Powers, where they're like there's the sharks with the laser
lasers
beams
on their head. Yes, it's very good.
Right? I need barracuda. I need piranhas, whatever, sharks.
I'd like to see barracuda.
I need to dangle this motherfucker above some water. Like, we need to do something to shake the shit up.
Well, I think another real.
I'm not suggesting violence. I'm just suggesting threats of violence.
Yeah, comical
all,
situations.
Everything said in this podcast does not reflect the true Rickard's opinions.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like it's the problem's bigger than just the PGMOL. If we're going to transition there, it's really probably the punditry and everything else, and the media and the rags that are towing that line as well to protect these terrible calls. Because let's look at the red card for Saliba.
Why don't we look at where all the referees come from?
Well, that's a no-brainer, right? Because they probably have an academy that they all got to go there for, and it's
that's why it's
quick handshake or whatever else.
That's why it's in the north.
Coincidence. It's just
that's why it's a bunch of bald white men in the north, huh? That's
well, they're Midlands. They're all Midlands folk. But the red card though, blatant red card, right? For Saliba, in my opinion, he's through on goal, he's passed, whatever else.
But why wasn't it in the other game?
So this is. Honestly, the more I look at it, the more I have to agree that it wasn't a red card, because whenever you look at the ball where Saliba fouled him, the ball is going in towards the top of it's through on goal, right? Whenever you look at the ball with Jota, as much as I hate to admit this, it is going out to the right channel. So it's not directly in on goal. I still don't think the boy is going to catch up to him. It's still a one-on-one, but
I mean the ruling should be the same for both those fouls. Like, it's close enough.
100%,
same kind of situation.
100%.
They should either both be red cards or they should both not be.
I'm splitting a hair there, and
right.
I think the precedent was set with the Arsenal game, and you could obviously
if the precedent was set, then it's a red.
Exactly.
If the precedent had been set.
Well, we've had precedents.
That's the whole thing. It's like everyone has the fucking problem because it's not the same shit. When this guy kicks the ball away for a foul, he doesn't get a card. This guy kicks the ball away, it is a card. Like, that has to be the same. Well, if he does it, it's a yellow card across the board.
The ball kick, regardless. And I think we also got to look back to last year whenever Jurgen Klopp was called a crybaby and all these other folks. Remember whenever Andy Robertson got elbowed in the head by the referee at the halftime whistle, and then
I remember that was ridiculous.
You got people calling him a crybaby and stuff like that in the commentary booth, and it's
they hate us because they ain't us, man. That's why they're always hating.
Lucho Diaz offside goal, right? There's Odegaard's handball in this fixture last season, right? This would have totally turned it. I didn't see a thing. I see that face. I didn't see a thing. The most blatant handball I've seen, and honestly, in years. And we could bring this back to cities against Everton, right? In the 99-98, losing the
98. Well,
whenever we got 98
total?
points,
okay,
they got 99, and then
I was like, what are we referencing some shit?
That was also the 3 millimeter ball over the line year. So there's a lot of, they hate us because they ain't us, but there's also some collusion. And I think probably both of our fan bases are the most jaded, I think, by a lot of these calls. So probably it would be in the PGMOL's best interest to quell this, to dumb it down as much as possible. If we can get a casual draw out of this, maybe some Reds, I think it's going to be looking more like a derby than it has in years past. And I hope that Arsenal go to win the game. I hope they don't go for the draw, because I can definitely see that's typically been.
But I mean, we're home. We have to go. But I mean,
MO.
But the way these games have gone for us lately, we'll have someone red carded by the 30th minute, so then we're gonna have to play for the fucking draw.
Is it 3 red cards in 8 games?
Insane.
Is it out of frustration? I mean, I know the double yellow is contentious, but we also don't hear what's being said on the pitch, right? And it'd be great if things were mic'd up a little bit more.
I said,
we could hear that.
This last one's the only one that I particularly agree with. The other ones are pretty bogus, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is with that. So my question for you though, because we talk about this stuff with PGMOL and all that, and it's like, well, Arsblog brought up an interesting point on their Arscast Extra earlier this week, saying that, like, well, what about, the Premier League is supposed to be this advertisement of the best football in the world, all that, like, shouldn't it be the best referees in the world as well? Like, shouldn't there be like the English league is only so good because you allow international players in, right? It wouldn't be this product if you didn't have it. Is it just the xenophobia? Is it the fact that, like, oh, we all have, everyone plays for their own federation bullshit? But like, if the Premier League, only kept the best fucking referees, like the ones that, the same ones that get used for Champions League, because you went and saw, and so like there was a VAR thing for a handball that, Arsenal got the penalty, Trossard hit a shit kick and got it blocked. But the way that the referees handled it.
You mean he missed a penalty?
He missed a penalty.
Okay.
That's what I said. Yeah, it was saved.
All right.
Yeah, he didn't miss. It was saved. But yeah,
saved.
It was a shit.
I didn't watch that game. I was shocked to hear that.
It was a shit penalty. He kicked it right down the middle, low.
Kind of unlike him, but yeah.
Yeah, I really thought it would be a lot better. But I mean, look, it didn't cost. But what I'm saying is that, like, these referees handled this decision. The VAR went so much more smoothly. It was done quickly and efficiently. And every fucking week in the Premier League, it's 3 minutes of sitting there like, oh, well, what's it going to be? The ground is getting uneasy because they haven't given the answer of what's going to happen with the VAR.
We've been talking about this for years, and like, there's people like Goldbridge that I fucking can't stand, but he's been saying it's not the best for years, and I've been shocked over the past
right.
2 seasons. I've been shocked on how much I agree with this guy.
Right, no shit, yeah, and never before, but now.
But it's true, and I think, like, really taking it all the way back to the Lucha Diaz goal against Tottenham, and I hate to do this because we're talking about last season. We should be talking about this season, the last couple matches. It took them like 5 minutes to figure that out. After the fact, they didn't know when to break, they didn't know when to stop, play on, and like looking at those 2.5 minutes of audio, it was absurd. So yeah, whenever you're talking about the best league, you're importing the best talent, but how are you adjusting? I don't want to say it's xenophobic because it's the English league, right? The English game is not what the English game used to be, right? You have a lot of out of towners that are going to games. It's hard to get tickets for the locals and the youth, especially.
Sorry for everyone to get tickets, especially with the rising costs and everything.
Yeah, so it's but it's one of these things that, like, in poor areas and stuff like that, it's a working class game. It should be promoted to the working class folks that have been there and supported that. It's really, you could say the same thing. We're starting to see it maybe in the NFL with things like the LA Rams and maybe the Oakland Raiders, where so many people are coming into town for a game that the majority of the stadium.
The Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, well, yeah, wherever.
Call them Oakland.
Well, they're always going to be the Oakland Raiders. And
no, there could always be the LA Raiders. That's what they were when we were kids, bro.
Unbelievable. But it imports a fan base. And I just think that, like, and it's a cheap way to phrase it, but it's just like, the game's gone, man. It's the game that you knew is not there anymore.
Game's gone.
Game's gone. It's not, and it's gone soft too, right? So if we had better execution in a lot of these VAR things, which it hasn't been doing in England at all for some odd reason, but go figure, follow the money, I would say. I think the contracts are too big. I think that the broadcasters maybe are having something to do with it. But it's a disgrace, really, to the best league in the world. Maybe for the advertisers it is. I still think the Bundesliga, for a match day experience, is hands down the best fan experience that you're going to get out there in Europe, maybe. But it's a joke, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just sad that there's no visible, like, end in sight or any sort of resolution. We thought that, like, bringing in the VAR, this and that would, like, prevent so many mistakes, this and that. And it's like, well, you know, they're getting the offsides right. Okay, that's been useful. But why is that? Why does that work so
They're
well?
not getting the offsides right all the time. They're 100% not getting it right all the time. And sometimes very blatant cases where it is. The play to continuation. Play to continuation's kind of been abusive too, I think, from a linesman, where they're very late on the flag still, right?
Yeah, but they're told to do that to not wrongly flag offside early, you know.
Which I guess they should be doing all the time, but that's not even the case, right?
Well, I mean, they tried to bring it in to make that something a little more easy. I mean, it seems they've been doing it well in the Champions League. At least theirs were going well, but you know what do we see from them week in, week out is the same kind of bullshit. Like, this is still, it comes down to their decisions. And the biggest problem I think with it is that the VAR referees are then the referees on the pitch the next week. And,
well, if they're not in the Middle East refereeing a game,
right, yeah, for money, but getting paid by Man City owners, yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's a bigger issue itself right there, is just that, you know, that in this brotherhood of referees, bunch of cunts, they are on the VAR duty one week and they're back out on the pitch the next week, and they're like, well, I don't want him overturning my result next time when I'm there. So they're thinking about well, next time that they're in that situation, the VAR referees should be completely different. They should be a different group of people elsewhere that are no longer, you know, not going to be out on the pitch the next week. So they don't have this conflict of interest of worrying about how their shit's going to be affected by what they say there or what they do. You know, just try to do your job the best that you can. You know, if the next guy's out there and he's like, well, you know, I don't want Anthony Taylor to overturn my decision next week because I'm, you know, who's he McFuckface.
There is a lot of ego in those figures,
and that's the whole thing.
It's all about making the game about them.
The best fucking referees in the world through history, right? Like, what's the last time that there was a consensus of the best referee in the world was, what's his name? Kalinga, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, when he played, like, you couldn't help but notice him because he looked like fucking Smeagol. But his ugly old Italian ass was so good because you wouldn't see him affecting the game by trying to change his decision and make it about himself. That's what made him so good. You know, like, I think it's terrible that they're doing this shit where, like, oh, Howard Webb is going to come on to talk about this decision. Is like, Howard Webb dreamed of being able to go do TV and shit after this. We should not be giving referees a platform. Yeah. They're not meant to be stars. They're not meant to be pundits.
So if they are going to be pundits, if they are going to be going on, and PGML is going to be so influential, then why aren't they mic'd up? Has been my problem.
Well, they are mic'd up. They got to share the fucking audio.
They should be mic'd up.
They are mic'd up.
It should be live in the stadium, like in rugby. And if that's not the case, the one other solution that I've heard that actually make a lot of sense is a lot of these guys have played maybe at a very, very basic level. Why, if in the VAR booth, we haven't considered putting like a players union member in there to be able to have a different perspective to say, hey, yes, hey, you know, or hey, this is the way it's played? Because we're looking at the case with the Bernardo Silva goal, right? Half the people are saying it's a goal, half the people are saying no, it's not a goal. But, you know, without a player's perspective in there, you're going really by the rules that are out there. VAR is doing its job. VAR is doing its job 100%. It's the people that are utilizing it is the problem. And I think it's once you've isolated all those constants and you look at the variable, it's not even the people that are running VAR in Germany and in Europe and Italy, whatever else. It's the people that are doing it in England. And that's a huge problem. And it's undermining the integrity of the game. And I think that whenever you're looking at, hey, you can't question the referee, back in the days with the boy, yeah, whatever he said goes. No one was going to argue with him. It was final, right? His word was law. However, once you start to introduce VAR a little bit more, it does have an element that starts to undermine them, right? So maybe their ego takes a hit or whatever else. But I think you need to have, if there's going to be a meeting of the minds in some ghost room miles away, you should have someone from a players union that is a well-known figure. Like, let's just say it's like, gotta be terrible because he's such a butt puppet for PGMOL and the media, but like an Alan Shearer or Thierry Henry or just someone else that's a pivotal figure that would like have some sort of expertise in being like, no, actually, see, he's interfering here. Because I think these refs don't really know when it starts and when it stops, having not been in their shoes.
They're just bad, man. there's no resolution in sight. There's nothing that we can see in terms of them actually making any progress with this shit.
I just don't see there being any solutions offered up or talked about too, which I think is a huge problem. I think if you're
they're not
going to
offer up any,
say, hey, we're working on it. Hey, we're working on it. Okay, well, what are you doing? The transparency needs to be better and better every year, and we've been saying this for how long now? 7 years? How long has VAR been on for now? I came in
4 or 5
or something like that. It seems like forever.
2000 season, 2020. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So this would be 5 years of it, the fifth season of it or something.
And ironically enough, I mean that was a kind of a runaway season for us. We won it before COVID even happened, really being 25 points ahead. Yeah. But yeah, I mean like that was kind of there. You didn't have that moment where, hey, 3 points here is going to be very, very important, and I think years prior to that, we had situations where it's just like people are hesitant to put anything on City or to make that big call against them. Well, don't get mad at your wallet, I guess they say, right?
Well, let's move on to previewing this match. I mean, not previewing, but previewing the scores. We've talked a little bit about tactics and what we think and what we see. Give me a rundown. How do you think it plays out? Give me a score and how do you think it happens?
I think we're going to have a lot of first team starters out there have been rested. So I think we're looking at like just a real class back line. Eddie Robertson, Trent. Midfield, I can see it unchanged, although that's probably the one tweak I can see is maybe Curtis Jones coming in for McAllister. Someone who he pulled up a little bit on the weekend against Chelsea and kind of got protected, but looked, again, very, very good today. So, Gravenberch and Soboslai, I think, are going to retain their spots. And then, obviously, with Jota out, I would feel a lot more confident in our attack against you guys. I think he is just like the type of guy that has the master key to your chambers, Having Darwin Núñez out there for 90 minutes.
You think he's going to start?
I think 100% he's going to start.
That's because Jota's out?
Jota is out. So, with Darwin out there, potentially, right? You could be looking at...
So, Darwin, Salah, and who? And Szoboszlai?
And Diaz. I think Diaz has been rested enough. And Gapco's probably been one of our better players since international break. He looks really good.
I would really love for you to start Gapco again instead of Darwin Núñez.
No,
if I could only get 20, 30 minutes of Núñez,
I don't see...
Agent of Chaos can chill.
The way that Gapco and Diaz both received the ball is kind of like what we saw with Darwin initially whenever he came from Benfica. He wanted to have his back to the sideline. And I don't know if they can coexist in the same team. So I see Darwin out there. I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot of wasted chances. Unfortunately, though we spent a lot of time talking about PGMOL and VAR today, I'm worried that there is going to be some bullshit inciting incident that's going to drastically change this game that should be very open and is going to be interesting to watch.
Darwin red card.
I don't see that, although who's going to wind him up, dude? I don't know. It's no Saliba, but...
it's Ben White.
Fuckboy Ben?
Fuckboy Ben, of course. What do you mean? Exactly.
Is he getting the highlights in before this match? I hope so.
I mean, yeah.
I think Diaz is gonna be turning out whoever's starting at right back. And I think Mo has kind of struggled at times, although just like getting the end product on the record at the final whistle. But I honestly think it might be a 1-0 one way, very scrappy. I think 1-0 is probably safe. I think it's going to try and be as muted as possible, but it's going to be one of those mistakes. Goal gets made.
1-0 the Arsenal. All right.
It's
like I like where your head's at. I see more goals though. I see more goals. I do think there's. I might be taking a punt on the over. We'll see how many goals they say it is, but I think there are at least 3 goals in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see a 2-2 draw.
I think
there's a lot of chance. With us being a little bit, we have some dynamism. Even though we're missing some stuff, I think we're definitely going to score. It ideally 2, but I think we're going to get on the score sheet. So the 1-1 draw, the 2-2 draw, the 2-1. I think those are I'm really really fucking going out on a limb there. But I'm just saying that I don't think it's going to be a 1-0. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that there will be goals from both sides. Hopefully ending up 2-1 to Arsenal. That's what I'm hoping for. Martinelli and a Havertz goal. That's where I'm seeing it.
Nice.
And I'm seeing Salah or Diaz get. I'm gonna go Mo because he's class, and he might be going up against a kid over there, or maybe he's going up against Kiwior. Like, so like the other option is, all right. So if we had it, if I had it with the options that are potentially available for us, I would hope that Timber was there to play either right back or right center back. So let's say right back because he has the speed to go with Lucho, and then Ben White, and hopefully Calafiori can play on the left. If not, Miles Lewis-Skelly will have to fucking stay with Salah, which is going to be tough as hell. But pace-wise, he actually might be better than Calafiori for that purpose.
Yeah, I can see. I think if you guys score, and what I've been calling for every game so far, and every one of my chats, is 3-1 Liverpool for everyone. We always give up the first goal and then storm back with 3. I think the only person,
I'm okay with you.
The only person that's going to score for you, though, I would say, if I'm going to take my 3-1 approach, is Havertz will get the early goal. He'll just somehow the door will be left open. No one locked it. It'll swing open, get the early goal. But I think you're going to see a Darwin Núñez masterclass after scoring in Europe.
A Darwin brace?
I think you're going to see a Darwin brace.
Oh, boy.
And potentially a Ibu Konate corner header.
Oh, because you guys never score from corners. Huh?
Never do it. I've never seen it before.
You know what? I should have changed it. I think you guys need a big Gabby goal in your life. That's you're going to be terrified of that. Everyone is so fucking scared of him coming through the back.
It's going to be fascinating, dude. I mean, it's like I think that our backline's so assured right now and only shipping 3 goals so far. I think that it's going to be this is the big test. I think it's a lot of unknowns out there, but especially how these two systems are going to match up.
And you get to do it with us missing a few claws, a few fangs. We're missing a few of our best pieces there. So,
I mean, I'd call 4-1 if Jota was out there, but.
All right. So wait. So now you're switching from 1-0 to 3-1.
3-1 is what I've called all season long, and I was just saying
you just said 1-0.
I can see 1-0.
Your prediction was 1-0.
I can see 1-0, and then you wanted to talk, so I let you talk. But no, 3-1.
So now it's
gonna be 3-1 Liverpool Football Club. Stay top of the log.
So both of us are saying take the over on 2.5 goals. I guess. All right.
I think so. They're going to try and stop it, though. I think they're really going to try and meet this game, and I think that I think there's too much quality out there for them to be able to do.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see that if we reach like the 60th or 70th minute and it's 1-1, which team actually goes for the win more in that situation. We got to
see. I can't see that being Arteta's plan at all. I think he's been scared to go for a win against the top sides traditionally.
That's not true this year.
This year, well, I mean, last year that was kind of how you guys lost the title, right? Is like really
drawing to City,
celebrating the draw against City. I think was like really
it was losing.
Sign of intent.
Losing to Villa after that. Okay, I don't need you parroting.
Yeah, I could say that it was the Crystal Palace game after the Gerrard slip. We can talk about what ifs and maybes all night, but I think whenever it's really been there, even in the game that we had last season where Trent hit the bar, the Odegaard handball for the Globetrotters, that was also seemed like it was getting played for the draw. So again, I think being a more reserve side, what does that do to a very attacking Arsenal, who I think who's been one of the more flamboyant attacks in the league for the past few years? What does it do to it?
Well, look, like I said, we're in a position right now missing our biggest creative spark, and the big thing was that Saka was doing that. Like, he stepped up to fill the creative hole that Odegaard. He was creating at least a goal and assist every game, one or the other, or one of each. And now with him out as well, it's really tough to see where we get the creative spark from. But there's enough good technical players, there's enough talent out there to get it done. We're at home. Home has been a fortress. We're doing really well there. It's gonna be a big challenging match, man. So, let the best team win. Let's see who goes for it. And I'm really intrigued to see how the run of play goes. Like, or do you guys allow us the ball in the beginning to kind of sit back and do that? Like how does the actual run of play, play out when it actually happens?
Yeah,
that's the game within the game is like, oh, well, who's actually going to take the initiative here? Who's going to push the action? That's what I'm really curious to see. So are we going to play our press even when we're missing people,
Yeah, and again, I think it's like these are two unknown systems, I think, coming together, but at some point the gloves are going to come off, are going to have to come off. And I don't know. I think that the composure in this Liverpool football side have been so it's almost been boring at times of just like, oh, wow, this is what retaining possession looks like again. Yeah. I feel like where's Rafa Benitez at?
But the reason why these coaches do this is because this is what this is what wins more consistently. That's why they've tried to. We look at both the style of play of these teams, from the heavy metal Arsenal were playing that a bit in the beginning under Arteta, to the kind of slow it down, control the ball. It's all kind of moving more towards the City style of play, which is not as exciting, but no. It wins. It wins. And it's a slow beat down, and it's not great for us, in that sense, but if it gets results, it gets results.
We'll see if Arteta's butt rock makes an appearance, all right? But I think with that many injuries, I think there's definitely going to have to be some changes in his approach. And I think that's going to be the real test for him. But probably a slow opening 30, I would say. I would definitely say it's going to be a little bit of a snoozer. Feeling each other out. You think it's going to be right off the bat?
Yeah.
That'd probably work.
It's going to be called. There's going to be a lot of energy in the stadium. I expect it to get. It's going to be jumping.
Yeah, well, when the league leaders come into town, I guess you got to rise to the occasion, don't you?
I guess we have to. These pretenders that think they're fucking special. But we will do it. We will do it. Well, get on out to the pub, find a place to watch the match. We will be out. I don't know. We're going to be at the Fox and Hounds. We're going to be at York. I don't know. You can find us either with the East Side Gooners, LA Gooners, Arsenal, Los Angeles.
A lot of gooning, regardless.
A lot of gooning everywhere, across the board, all over Mr. Anfield Cat over here. You can follow this fine fellow on Twitter at AnfieldCat420. We'll be here again to talk more Arsenal probably after the turkey break or so, before Christmas for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a great match. Can't wait to see it. Get out, support your local chapters, have fun, get out there, watch the matches, and we'll be back sometime soon. So in the meantime, check out this lovely song by Fontaines DC, Starburster, and we'll see you again on the flip.
Adios.
Peace.
I wanna see you alone, I wanna shatter the stone, I wanna bounce the bone, I wanna mess with it, I wanna lay to the field, a whole crew in the seal, I want the preacher appeal, I wanna bless with it, I wanna head to a mass to get cast in it, a shit's funnier than any A-class in it, I wanna talk to the clown who wants apologies down, pay him £300 and take a class in it, I wanna bite the phone, I wanna bleed the tone, I wanna see you alone, I wanna straight the shack, I find me someone to pack, like the light when it's dark, a few stairs about, make it feel like peace in a way, compliment around, consolation got a twist in it, for a GPO and all the hits in it, I'm gonna hit your business, if it's momentary business, I'm gonna hit your business, if it's momentary business, I'm gonna hit your business, if it's momentary business, I'm gonna hit your business, if it's momentary. I wanna talk with a gag if it's a bottle or bag. I wanna strike with the sack, I need the fan from it. I want a shot in the dark, I wanna make the mac. I wanna lift the yak, I call the ends on it. I wanna take the truth where it lands on it. My God-given insanity, it depends on it. How I feel, how I feel, how I feel. I wanna kill. I've a hand and a turned up challenger. I wanna keep all of your charm in a canister. Do you inspire like the same dead Salinger? I'm the pig on the Chinese calendar. I got a shallow like a 5'8" caliber. I wanna move like a new salamander. I live a carry on, who's a real scavenger. It's my tyranny keeping me from me.